Bro, I need you to listen to me right now because what I'm about to tell you is going to change the way you look at fast food forever. And I don't mean the food itself. Everybody already knows the food is sus. You made that deal with the devil the second you pulled into that drive-thru. You basically signed a waiver that said, I don't know what's in this and I don't want to know. And honestly, fair. Because whatever they're putting in that chicken to make it hit like that, keep it. I don't want answers, I want results. No, what I'm talking about is the behind the scenes. The stuff that goes down in that kitchen that you as the customer will never see, never hear about, never know happened. And I'm only able to tell you this because I worked at one of these places. I was on the inside. I saw things twinned, things that cannot be unseen. So, consider this your official case file. 3 exhibits, each one worse than the last. And by the end of this video, and I'm dead serious, you are going to think twice before you pull up to that window again. Let's get into it. Exhibit A, the resurrection. Okay, so first, you need to understand one thing about this place. One thing that everything, and I mean everything, revolved around. Service time. How fast could we get food from the fryer into the customer's hands? They wanted it in 2 minutes, 3 minutes max, and management was not playing about this. Like, these people were unhinged about service times. You let that timer creep up, and a manager would materialize out of thin air like a demon being summoned, yelling at you like you just insulted their entire family. Full, what do you think this is? A game. Energy every time, and their go-to threat, dish duty. Not just for that shift, for all future shifts, indefinitely, into eternity. Like bro threatened people with dish duty the way mob bosses threaten people in movies. It was their whole thing. So one night, I'm in the back mopping floors, minding my business. My coworker, let's call him bro, he's on the line taking care of orders. Manager's locked in his office, which was actually a good sign. Manager in office meant nothing was on fire. Manager out of office meant you were about to get a 10-minute speech about the concept of time. Customer pulls up to Drive-Thru, orders a 3-piece combo, easy order, textbook, should be no problem whatsoever. Except, and I clocked this from all the way in the back, we only got 2 chicken fingers in the holder. We are 1 finger short. I look at the timer for the fresh batch, 3 minutes away. I look at the drive-thru timer. Car's already been sitting there for 2.5 minutes. Twin. That's a 5.5-minute order. That's not a service time. That's a sin. And I can tell bro is doing the exact same math because I watched this man start pacing. He's looking at the drive-thru timer, looking at the order just sitting there, looking at the chicken timer, back and forth, back and forth. Timer hits 3 minutes, and the screen goes yellow. They literally color-coded it so you could see in real time how badly you were failing. Yellow is bad. Red, that's 4 minutes. Red means you might actually get fired on the spot. And then I watch bro make a decision. He walks over to the waste bin. Now let me explain the waste bin real quick. Big plastic bucket. That's where we threw all the old food after it sat out too long. Soggy chicken fingers, mushy fries, food that had fully given up on life and accepted its fate. This bucket would be packed to the top with what I can only describe as a graveyard of former menu items by the end of every single night. Bro walks up to this bucket, does a slow look to the left, slow look to the right, makes sure the coast is clear, and then he reaches his hand into that bucket. Oh hell nah. Reaches in there like he's going grocery shopping, pulls a chicken finger off the top of the pile, walks it back to the station, slides it under the 2 fresh ones so it's completely hidden, puts a piece of toast on top, closes the box, and sprints it to the window. Service time, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Bro was locked in, genuinely proud of himself too, standing there like he just solved a math problem nobody else could figure out. And look, I know how that sounds, but hear me out, because if you think about it from every angle, this is actually kind of a W situation. The manager didn't have to come out and yell at anybody. The customer got their food fast, 1 less piece wasted. And that customer, he dipped it in honey mustard, didn't notice a thing, and drove off into the sunset. Probably back the next week. Repeat customer? Now does the customer maybe have a rough next morning? Possibly. But he was gonna blame the fries anyway. The fries always take the blame. That's just how it goes. Exhibit A closed. Exhibit B, the T. All right, I'm gonna be real with you. Exhibit A, that's funny. That's gross, but that's funny. That's a story you tell at a cookout and everybody loses it. Haha, nasty, whatever. This next one, I don't laugh about this one. This one involves the iced tea, and I need you to be sitting down for this. So, we had these big tea dispensers all over the restaurant. Lobby, drive-thru, behind the counter, like a dozen of them. And every single night before close, every single one had to be cleaned, taken apart, scrubbed down, put back together, the whole process. So, sometimes to make it easier, we'd start tearing them down about an hour before we actually closed, take all the leftover tea from every dispenser in the entire restaurant, combine it all into 1 5-gallon bucket, and just serve out of the bucket for that last hour. Then, whoever was on dishes could start cleaning all the dispensers early, instead of rushing at the end. The bucket method was a little annoying. You had to scoop the tea out manually instead of just pressing a lever. But it worked fine, usually, now. We got Sarah on drive-thru. Sarah has always worked drive-thru, only drive-thru. Never touched a dish in her life. And this particular night, for whatever reason, everybody decided they needed iced tea right before closing. Like, bro, it's 10:45 p.m. Why are you ordering iced tea right now? But they were, back to back to back, and Sarah gets tired of scooping from the bucket cup by cup. Valid. So she walks back to the dish station, grabs one of the tea dispensers off the cleaning rack, dumps the 5-gallon bucket back into it, and brings it back to her station. Problem solved. Normal dispenser, easy pouring, back to business. Genius move, right? Right? A few minutes go by, she's serving people. Everything seems fine. Then Michael, dish guy, walks over from the back, looks at the dispenser, and his entire face just breaks, like something behind his eyes just shattered. Sarah, where did you get that dispenser from? Your dish rack. I brought them all over like 10 minutes ago, but we were getting slammed, so I just grabbed one back. Sarah, what? Please, tell me you have not been serving customers out of that. I literally just said, I have been. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, hell. Nah, see, here's the thing. When Sarah had brought all those dispensers back to Michael's station, Michael had immediately done what he always did. What he did every single night. He grabbed the industrial bleach and doused the inside of every single container. Soaked them completely. Because that's how you get the tea stains out. It was just standard procedure. Everyone who'd ever worked dishes knew this. Except Sarah had never worked dishes. And here's the evil part. When bleach first hits a surface, it's all bubbly, obvious. You can clearly see something's been sprayed everywhere. But let it sit for just 10 minutes and those bubbles settle. The bleach runs down the sides and mixes in with whatever's left at the bottom of the container. By the time Sarah walked back over to grab that dispenser, looked completely clean, looked empty, looked totally fine. She had no idea. She poured the sweet tea right in, mixed it with all that bleach sitting at the bottom, and then served it through the drive-thru window for like 10 straight minutes. Twin. She was out there serving people straight disinfectant with ice, industrial grade, restaurant quality bleach tea, on the house. I don't know how many people got that cup. I genuinely do not want to do that math. What I do know is that from that day forward, I have never, not once, ordered sweet tea at a fast food restaurant. And I never will again. I don't care how hot it is outside. I don't care if it's free. I am good.
Exhibit B closed, and I need a minute. Exhibit C, Jim. Okay, so we've established that someone served a customer a rotten chicken finger from a garbage bucket. We've established that someone accidentally served people bleach tea for 10 minutes straight. You might be wondering, how do you top that? Where do you even go from there? The answer is Jim. Jim was our assistant manager. I've told Jim stories before, and I'll link them at the end because you need the full picture. But just so you understand who we're dealing with, Jim was the type of person who had absolutely no business being in a position of authority, and yet here he was, in charge of a kitchen, managing actual human beings. This man operated every single day like he was one bad order away from completely losing it. Constant yelling, constant threats, zero chill. At any given moment, Jim was already on edge, and all it took was one slow ticket to push him over. This is important because what I'm about to describe to you, Jim's decision making in this moment, only makes sense if you understand that in Jim's mind, a slow service time was the worst possible outcome. Worse than anything, worse than everything, including what I'm about to tell you. So, the fryers, these things got filthy. Like if you drained the grill and looked inside, you'd see layers of burnt grease and carbonized food stuck to every surface. It was bad. So, we had a cleaning rotation. Openers would clean 2 fryers every few mornings, so each one got done about once a week. The cleaning process was a whole operation. First, you'd scrub as much as you could by hand, then you'd fill the fryer with water and boil it to loosen everything else. But even the boiling water wasn't enough because some of this stuff was caked on. So we had this powdered fryer cleaner, special stuff, industrial strength. You dump it into the boiling water and it would eat through everything, grease, buildup, residue, all of it. Those fryers would come out looking brand new every time. Here's the catch though. This fryer cleaner, highly toxic, like extremely. Do not eat this. Do not be near this. This is not a food substance in any capacity. So, after cleaning, you had to rinse that fryer out completely before using it again. And I mean completely. So we're talking dragging the hose in from outside and blasting every inch of it until you were 100% certain not a single particle of that cleaner was left. Because if you missed any and tried to fry food in it, the oil would immediately start foaming up like crazy. Like a science experiment gone wrong. You would know instantly. One morning, the fryer cleaning runs late. Supposed to be done before lunch rush. It is not done before lunch rush. Jim is already stressed. Tickets are printing. We're down a fryer going into the busiest part of the day. Oil finally heats up. I start loading chicken in, full basket. We got like 25 tickets stacked up. A few minutes in, I notice the oil's got a little more bubbling than normal. Then some frothiness. Then the entire fryer just overflows with foam. Oh no. Someone did not rinse that fryer properly. Someone left chemical residue in there, and now I had a full load of chicken that had been sitting and cooking in toxic oil, and I had to go tell Jim, which, knowing Jim, was not a conversation I was looking forward to. This man has literally put hands on coworkers before. I'm not exaggerating, that's a whole separate video.
So I walk up to him as calm as I can. "Hey Jim, so that batch of chicken, I think we gotta scrap it. The fryer had some cleaner residue in it and the oil started foaming, so..." Jim's face goes red, like actually red. He walks over to the fryer, stares at it, stands there for a second, and then he picks the baskets of chicken up out of the toxic foaming oil, moves them 2 steps to the right into the clean fryer right next to him, sets them down and goes, "There, clean oil now, batch is fine, we're good." Jim, that chicken has been marinating in chemical fryer cleaner for the past 2 minutes. You can't just move it to different oil. It's already been shipped. The timer's about to go off. Pull the food. And then Jim, and this is the part that I genuinely still think about to this day, Jim didn't just let it happen. He personally made the orders. This man went into full turbo mode, assembling plate after plate of this chemically infused chicken with his own hands, moving fast, snapping boxes shut, loading up the counter, every single finger from that entire batch. He even threw in the little bonus pieces, the small bits we'd normally toss in for free. Used every last one, not one piece left in that kitchen. Every customer in that window during that time got a piece of that chicken. Served hot, under 3 minutes, and Jim got his service time. So, let's recap the case file real quick. Customer A got a chicken finger that had been decomposing in a waste bucket, delivered in under 4 minutes. Customer B got a cup of sweet tea, blended with industrial bleach, served with a smile. Customer C got chicken that had been cooked in chemical fryer cleaner, and then moved to a different fryer like that, somehow fixed it. Hot and fresh, all of it under 3 minutes. All of it technically completed orders, all of it handed through a drive-thru window to regular people who just wanted something to eat on their lunch break. And here's the wildest part. Nobody came back to complain, not one person, which tells me one of 2 things. Either fast food genuinely builds up some kind of superhuman immunity in your body, or, and I think this is the more likely answer, people just could not tell the difference. Both of those possibilities keep me up. So, the next time you pull up to a drive-thru and your food is ready before you've even finished pulling up to the window, I need you to think about this video. Think about this case file, and maybe, just maybe, hope that timer turns red. Because red means somebody back there is actually doing things right. Or, at the very least, it means they had to start fresh. And at this point, fresh is all I'm asking for. And please don't forget to like, and subscribe. Comment your story down below.